Alright guys, wanted to hit you real quick with this video. It's going to be a short one. I'm going to try to keep it short and not ramble like I tend to do. So I bought, if you follow the channel for any amount of time, you know I bought this little Hercules arrow saw on Amazon last year. It's a little 2-inch. It's got a 2-inch blade on it. It's got a 1-amp motor on it, 2-inch blade, all that good jazz. You can see here's the little blade right here. It's just nothing special. So this is not intended to be an arrow saw at all. It's just a little mini chop saw. So I wanted to show you guys this. If you're cutting arrows, this is how I used to cut them. So I would mark my arrow where I wanted to cut it. I would put it in right here. And then what I would do is, as I was pulling the saw down to cut the arrow, I would spin it, right? If you just pull it straight down and just try to cut through it, you got to go slow because it'll bog this little small motor down. But, so what I did is I would just go slow and just spin it. Well, it's hard to keep the cut very straight. So what I've been doing now, since then, is I got this little cheap Pine Ridge Archery arrow spinner when I first started building the arrows, because you need an arrow spinner to see if you got see which end you got wobble in, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And you can put it on this thing. You can put it on here and spin your arrows, see which end's got wobble, so you know which end you want to cut from and all that before you cut, right? So you can put this, I've got this right now screwed to this piece of decking board and clamped down to my table. So I can put my saw, I can put this right up against the saw here. I just butt it up against it and say I was going to cut a little off of this arrow here. This is just an old junk arrow. So I would take and put my arrow on my spinner, and I would go ahead and start my saw and just slide it into it. And once you get it in, it's really easy just to spin this arrow on this arrow spinner and get a nice smooth cut. So doing it that way, laying it on the arrow spinner and keeping it straight, it lets you spin this thing really slow, and you can get a real straight, pretty smooth cut. And then all you got to do is take your squaring device, whatever you got. This is mine. It's just 2 blocks of wood that I drilled some holes out in, and I've got the actual little block that comes with the Easton arrows when you buy the bear shafts. I've got it sandwiched in here in a hole drilled in. So all I have to do is put my arrow in that hole, and then I can just take my hands, spin it back and forth, square it up. I mean, that's almost perfect right there. And as long as you put that, yeah, that's pretty much perfect. So as long as you put that arrow in that saw just like that and go slow, as long as you put it in there and just go slow and slowly rotate it like this on that arrow spinner as you're cutting, you can get a nice, pretty smooth, even cut, and you don't really have to do a whole lot of squaring on the other end. And you can get away with buying a cheap, you know, $40 saw to build your arrows with, like I have. And it does the same job, guys. I mean, I know it's going to be hard to see, but that's really smooth. The carbon's not frayed at all. It's a good straight square cut. And I can show you. So one way that I've learned to check these is I will take a fill tip. So after I've cut my arrow and squared it, you know, you got a factory real square edge on these fill tips. Without putting the insert or anything in, I'll just slide that fill tip down in the end of it and just roll it around and look. And you can see how square it is really easy, really fast that way. And if it's not, you know, you just pull your fill tip out, square it up a little more, just slide your fill tip back in the end and just check it. Just spin it around and look. Anyways, thanks. I'll catch you guys in the next one.